Hey players, if you're looking to get better as a basketball player, you've got to search every resource possible to see what you can find and then add to your game. So I want you to watch this video to see if you could just pick up one, two, or three things that if you take these things and add them into your game, add them into your mentality, you might see huge results. We're in a series of videos called the Champion Series, and these are just 9 to 10 videos that I've put together that are focused on the mindset and the habits and the routines and things like that of that's going to help you improve your game. So in this video, all I'm doing is talking about mindset. And the first thing I want to talk about is ownership as opposed to blame. So the standard and baseline mindset that most players have is that I'm going to blame everybody else. You know, players will sit on the bench and think, I need to be on the bench, but the coach doesn't like me. It's the coach's fault. Or I want to earn that scholarship, but all these college coaches, it's their fault that they don't see my talent. Or it could be I'm trying to be all region and trying to make the all conference team, but those people who voted, they don't see how good I am. It's their fault. That's not a great mentality to have because you put the ownership on everybody else. You don't take any ownership. What successful people do, what great basketball players do, is they think that everything is their fault. So if they aren't earning enough minutes or they're not starting on the team, they think, man, that's my fault. I got to get better. I got to earn those minutes. I got to put in more work. I just got to get better so that I can earn more minutes. Or if they don't earn that scholarship and schools aren't looking at them, they think, man, that's my fault that I'm not good enough. I got to work harder and I got to improve. They look at every single circumstance, and sometimes there are people who are going to hold you back, but a lot of the times the reason we aren't achieving what we want, mainly because of our own lack of skill or lack of effort. And successful players, they just think, okay, well, I got to turn it up and take it to the next level. The second thing I want to talk about is resilience. There's kind of two beliefs that you can have about things being easy or difficult. Some people just say, yeah, everything is going to be easy because life is easy and everything's just going to be given to me and it's going to be easy. Well, one, those people are out of touch with the reality because that's not how life works. That's not how sports works. If you're trying to achieve greatness and you want to be a great player or you want your team to win the championship, there's going to be a lot of adversity. There's going to be games that you're completely upset by because you had the lead and your team blew it. Or there's going to be star players on your team who get injured. Or there's going to be those games where you were favorited to win and your team just doesn't show up and you get wiped out by 30 points. There is going to be setbacks and difficulties and challenges, and if you think there aren't, that's bad. But the mindset that you need to have is that yes, there's going to be adversity. Yes, there's going to be difficult things to overcome, but you've got to believe that you have inside of you and with your team that you have and your team has what it takes to overcome those things. So you've got to be like resilience just means that once you hit something that's difficult, you don't hit that wall and then turn around and go do something else. Resilience means you hit that wall and you just keep on pushing through it. The third thing I want to talk about, and this skill is so valuable and so rare, is to have the courage to confront your teammates because in today's culture, we all just want to, teammates just want to be buddy and they just want to be nice to each other. They don't want to upset somebody else. They don't want to get upset them, get on their bad side. So they just kind of let everything slide. But great players and great leaders, they have the courage to confront. Doesn't mean you're mean, doesn't mean you're a jerk, but it just means that if you're in a workout or you're in a practice and your teammate is not meeting the standard of what you and your team have, then you go up to them and say, hey, this isn't good enough. You've got to have more effort. I love you. I'm your teammate. I support you. I want the best in you, but this ain't cutting it. So either step up your game or leave the gym, something like that. Players who do that show courage, they show leadership, but they also get the best out of their teammates. If you're ever on the receiving end of that and a teammate comes up to you and says, hey, you got to step it up, you got to do better, this isn't cutting it, your two reactions could be, I don't want to listen to you. That's the bad reaction. The second reaction could be, okay, you know what, you're calling me out, you're calling me up, I do need to do better, I appreciate that, because you called me out, I'm going to do better from this point on. So the courage to confront and then the openness to be challenged are super, super important to your mindset and your development. The next thing is to be able to push yourself and don't be pushed. As a coach, when I'm running a practice or I'm running workouts, I can always tell there's players who, when they're doing a drill, they're like looking over their shoulder at the coach, trying to figure out, are they watching? Oh, they're watching, so I'm going to go hard now. And then when the coach turns their head and looks the other way, then they let up and they go easy. These players also, they don't work out on their own. They're not able to really push themselves through sprints or push themselves hard through a workout or finish a workout going full speed. These types of players, they just can't push themselves. Of course, they're never going to reach their potential. But for you as a player, you need to be able to have that self-discipline and self-motivation that you can push yourself and challenge yourself and have high standards for yourself every single day. Now, the last point I want to bring up in this video, and we could talk about a lot of different mindset stuff, but this is very important, and this is to hold yourself to your standards. Don't compare yourself to other people, because there's people on your team who are going to be naturally more athletic. They're going to be taller. They're going to be naturally a better shooter. And you can look at them and just think, man, I wish I had their gifts. I wish I had their game, because I want to achieve what they want to achieve. That's not a good way to go about it. You need to think about your standards. What are your standards? What level of excellence do you hold yourself to? What type of player and worker do you want to be known as? Think about those and just hold yourself 100% accountable to those standards, because you can control those things, but you can't really control about how gifted or how tall or how fast, how naturally talented you are. You can't really control those things. Of course, you can work on your game and get better, but those gifts, you don't really have much control over. So, like I said, we could talk a ton about mindset, but these are some of the most important things that I think are going to help players in your development and in your game. I hope they were helpful. If you want training, you can create a free account on my training platform. It's in the first line below in the description. Create a free account. There's no credit card required. You can get some drills, skill breakdowns, and workouts on there for free. But I hope this was helpful to you. Let's keep getting better.